everyone, and welcome to this news show sort of thing. It's Saint Bacon talking to you about this. Me and Farrell kind of do the trashy, gay, queer, whatever news after the fact on Saturdays, usually, on my channel. And we're going to be starting to put some of the rebroadcasts here. So if you're interested in watching these lives, stay tuned to my channel for Friday. And if you just want to listen to us make fun of stupid stuff on the internet, just go ahead, just keep listening. I'll eventually roll into the stupid crap on the internet, and do enjoy. Hopefully, I've linked mine and Farrell's Twitters and channels down below. Did good. I probably haven't, knowing me and my channel. Anyways, enjoy the show and the crap that is to follow. Okay, and are we live? Are we not? Okay. Now we've gone live. We are 1 second in. Hello, everybody in chat, or who will see this later. Welcome to us slaying evil / dumpster fire. So, I think Farrell just...
Hey, y'all!
Okay. Farrell didn't just freeze. That's good.
No, I was just messing with you.
Yeah, I thought you froze again. God, what are we using? Skype and are on the YouTube Saints? I mean, come on. We shouldn't be freezing.
Yes, that's how we do things around here. That's how we roll like that.
Yeah. But yeah, we're back. We're slaying some of the dumpster fire, and well, we got fun stuff. We already have, well, as you can tell, a grocer is horrified after walking in on a 12-man orgy in a public restroom and may never recover from the shock.
Clean up in aisle 6.
Thank you, Scotland.
Yeah. What, did they fry something first or what?
I do not know. Let's find out. Let's just jump right into it, which is what the 12 men said. Okay, Edinburgh man said he was left horrified after walking in on a gaggle of men partaking in a 12-man orgy inside a park restroom. The incident happened in an area called The Mound, an artificial hill in central Edinburgh. The 32-year-old grocer, who was with his 6-year-old nephew, walked into the restroom and saw one man crouch down on another's groin, while another 10 guys or so watched and pleasured themselves.
Pleasured themselves?
Yeah.
Pleasured themselves.
Yes, pleasured.
Well, they shop for expensive things that they couldn't afford, or what?
I don't know. I just quickly walked out, the grocer tells the Edinburgh Evening News. Luckily, I had my nephew over my shoulder facing the other direction. I was just so taken aback.
He's marching out traumatized, and he's got his nephew sat where his head is just watching.
I'm assuming he just backed out. As one
just walk away and no sudden moves. They can smell fear.
Or semen.
And cheap cologne and Rogaine.
Cops were called. They arrived and began banging on the stall doors and quizzing men.
Oh my god, them too?
Who were nearby. However, no arrests were made. Come on, really? No arrests were made when guys were having an orgy in a fucking bathroom? Come on.
Cops are called and they started banging on stall doors. Well.
Yes, well.
The guys look up. Oh, good, the strippers have arrived.
I totally understand that cruising happens in every city, the grocer says, but to do it in public view takes it to another level. The bathroom,
he called it cruising?
Yeah, he called it cruising. The writer did. Well, the guy, the guy was 32, so I mean.
That's kind of an insider thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, nothing says.
Never mind.
Nothing says the guy who found them isn't gay. he just has a nephew. I mean, he could be gay. We don't know. The bathroom is a cruising zone for gay men, according to several online internet boards. A Police Scotland spokesperson says police in Edinburgh were called to report of lewd behaviour at 4:20 p.m. on Wednesday, the 3rd of October, in the Mound area of the city centre. Nothing was detected, however. Inquiries are ongoing.
12 people, I'd call it more than a mound. I'd call it the pile. All right, everybody, back on the pile.
Oh, God, that takes Pile Driver to a whole new level. Meanwhile, the grocer says he will never use those bathrooms again and will be very cautious of which ones he uses in the future. I think from now on I'll be going to use the toilets within premises, he said. I don't want to experience anything like that again. Well, neither would I. Just neither would I.
Lord.
Mm.
I'm like digging through let's see if there's anything in the comments section. Oh, there's a nice little discussion on whether or not that's considered an orgy or not.
Oh, God.
Because God knows we need some clarification at this point. Actually, there's a lot of argument about that. I'm like, please, y'all, get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Also, for those of you who are watching this on my channel, the links will eventually be thrown into the side chat. For those of you who are watching this on the Gatriarchy channel, if I dump it over there, you're going to need to come to my channel to see it. So, yeah. So, yeah, even though I do plop the recorded intro into when I repost this, guys who will be watching this later, yeah, side chat's on my Saint of Bacon channel, not on the Gatriarchy, so it's reposting. It's me from the future wagging my finger at you.
I would never do that. I just give judging looks.
Well, I can't have my camera on this, so I have to verbally finger wag at them. Unfortunately,
on Bacon's behalf.
Okay. Well, you're the facial expressions, and I'm the scolding motherly tone.
I'm more like the dickhead uncle that tells you this enough stuff to get you in trouble or something,
or to lick your finger before sticking it in a power socket.
Actually, I had a cousin that pissed in an electric socket once when he was a kid.
Yeah,
and we used to. I swear to God, he's got to be like all into electrosex and stuff like that now, because used to be we'd be walking through the fields and everything, and just a whole line of us, and he'd be on the outside, stupid idiot, and well, all of a sudden we'd just, on a cue, we'd all grab hands, including his, and I'd grab the electric fence. The one on the end's the one that feels the shock.
Yeah, my dad, when he was a teenager, they had a dog, and they would go up to upstate New York, and the dog pissed on an electric fence, and it was hilarious.
It's great, just...
Oh.
Oh, God. The more we talk about this, the more I'm thinking I'm on Team Meteor,
Hey, that was in the 70s when my dad was dealing with that kind of thing, so I blame the 70s.
Now, speaking of stupid shit, so we had a singer die here recently, didn't we?
Yeah, it's I think I stuck it in here maybe. Oh yeah, it's this one. It's the next one we're talking about. Gay pop singer died after falling from 13th floor balcony while on crystal meth, coroner says.
Please tell me he was not singing I Believe I Can Fly.
Oh God, that is awful.
Shame too. I mean, he was completely adorable, but
I know.
36-year-old Matley was one. I'm sorry. New details have emerged after the shocking death of singer Timmy Matley. 36-year-old Matley was one of the original members of the Overtones, a popular doo-wop band from the UK. He died back in April after suffering multiple traumatic injuries when he fell from a balcony while under the influence of crystal meth, according to a newly released coroner's report. Matley, who was openly gay, was hanging out at his friend's East London flat. After getting high on meth, he locked himself out on the 13th floor balcony. When he tried climbing down, he slipped. This week, the Overtones posted a photo of themselves all together on Instagram, writing, "Timmy, our funny, talented, beautiful friend, bandmate, and brother, was dearly loved and is deeply missed." The band got the big break in 2010 after they were discovered by a Warner Brothers talent scout practicing on their lunch break from work as decorators.
Oh,
in addition to Matley,
of course they were decorators.
Interior designers, thank you. In addition to Matley, the band consisted of 4 other members: Mark Franks, I think is it Lashley or Lacey? I can't tell from here. Chapman, Mike Crawshaw, Darren Everest, and Matley. Both Franks and Chapman are openly gay. The Overtones have released 5 albums, 4 of which have charted on the UK top
10.
Yeah, sorry, it had this damn sidebar in the way. Their 2010 debut, Good Old Fashioned Love, peaked at number 4. They're scheduled to release a new album later this month, which will include vocals from the late singer.
Yep, this is one of those reasons why you don't do meth while on a balcony, or meth in general.
And this is something that really the gay community still has a fucking problem with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could go into any of those hookup apps. and within about 5 minutes be able to score the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're very open about it. I mean, anyone that capitalizes every T that they see in it, stay far the fuck away from that person. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, seriously, this should be a warning lesson.
Yes. Also, stay. Also, I think fireworks is another one, unless grinders caught on to that one. Like fire.
Fireworks, is that what they're calling it now?
No, like if they put a firework emoji. From what I understand, that's also a symbol of chemsex. At least around me, at least around me it is. So yeah, if you see emojis that are not too obvious, people, I would avoid them. Just saying.
Something about the thought of two or more, scabby, emaciated, greasy fucking meth addicts rubbing all over each other does not make me hard. It's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
opposite.
We got Cito in the chats. Hello.
Hey, Cito.
He is here, and I am currently dumping the links in the chat. I just dumped the overtones on there. I've never heard of them. I mean, granted, again, this is British. Oh, this is Queer Tea. I actually thought this was like Pink News or something.
Oh, well, that's a whole other caliber.
Yeah, this is American bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still sad about this guy,
Mm-hmm.
any jokes that I've made notwithstanding, but still, I mean, this is yet another example of where we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yep. And well, you can go to AA and embrace the drug-free Jesus and get out of meth, which no gay guy in their right mind is going to do. Or you can go to some rainbow center and be told told how you're just the devil.
Kind of makes you wonder why they're going to them. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Oh, that also just reminds me. In one of Prim's most recent videos, she basically took the place of a feminist counselor and basically called the guy she was in drag, impersonating, the devil, and well, she got called the cunt by herself. I like Prim. Prim is entertaining.
Prim Reaper?
Yes.
Oh, I love her.
We got
She's
bitch please.
hilarious. Hey, bitch, please.
Hello. We have bitch please. We got Cito. I've been no drugs, no drinks all my life. Okay, Cito. I got you on the no drugs, but not the no drinks.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm pretty clear with me. I'm a former meth addict myself, so if anyone does have a little problem that they're not willing to talk about on here, it's fine, but you can get off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been clean for about 20 years. It's really worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never done any drugs. I mean, other than marijuana when I was younger and stupid. But yeah, I did. Alcohol is like the only drug per se that I actually find appealing in small amounts. Although I do like the smell of tobacco when it's not burning.
Yeah, tobacco. That's still my drug of choice.
Mm.
I've just decided to quit smoking it.
Mm. Oh, are you going with chew or are you going vapor?
Snooze.
I have no idea what that means.
It's kind of like a Swedish variant of snuff that's a lot cleaner
Mm.
and doesn't have the health risks because not nearly the health risks because instead of fermenting it, they instead steam it.
Mm.
So it doesn't stink. You don't have spit cups all over the place. It's wonderful stuff,
Mm.
and you don't get it all in your teeth.
Mm. Yeah, I never understood why in my high school the rednecks liked chewing tobacco instead of just smoking it.
Oh, I used to chew. I mean, ain't gonna lie, it was great in the sawmill because you really couldn't light up there.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that's one of the funny things that we always at my high school we would make fun of, especially with our chemistry teacher he was a dick, but we all loved him for it.
That's the kind that we make fun of.
Yeah. Anyways, he was, so this one girl in my class was like talking shit about the rednecks who are all like, because they would look down on people who were smoking as they were spitting up their chew. Really?
Oh, wow.
And he actually high-fived that girl for shit. Like she was usually a dumbass, and was just shitting on them for like being all anti-smoking, but at the same time they're doing dip in front of teachers. Oh god.
That's great.
Yeah, I know. It was oh god, my high school. This is also the teacher that told a girl to do her Prozac because he was on time, and she was trying to tell him he was late.
I like him already.
Yeah, he was hilarious. And then also later in the year, that girl actually killed a rattlesnake with a small boulder.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are you sure you haven't been hanging out with Arkansas girls? Because that sounds like some shit they'd do.
Yeah, this was Nevada. So
There we go.
yeah, she was out on a jog in the desert and saw a rattlesnake and then picked up like a yeah, a rock the size of like a small watermelon and then smashed it and it broke in half.
Damn.
Yeah, me and this one other guy are giving her kudos, and then she deleted the
That,
picture because she was ashamed of it. Even though
that
we were
bitch
like,
sounds hoss.
she kind of was.
I like her already.
Yeah, yeah, this was in our chemistry class, and yeah, she killed a rattlesnake, and it was awesome. Its tummy popped. Anyways, let's get to the next thing, which is
So, what do we got?
it's okay to is it okay for liberals to crack misogynistic gay jokes at Lindsey Graham's expense?
I'd say they have to stick at the same standard that they send out to everybody else. Do I make misogynistic gay jokes? Fuck yes, but I don't think anyone else should be prohibited from. But
Mm-hmm.
if they're going out wagging their fingers and stuff like that and calling out people for that behavior, then
Mm-hmm.
by damn, stick to it. Yeah, fucking hypocrites. What's your take?
I have to agree. Either stick to your own stupid bullshit, or we get to do whatever the fuck we want because you're hypocrites.
Well, I do anyway because I mean, I never accepted them as a moral authority.
Neither do I, but I wouldn't harass them, so to speak, but I would crack jokes and be like, yeah, you guys are hypocrites. Uh,
Well, at
the,
least I'm not a cynic, I mean,
well, I
I'm a
am.
hypocrite. Hypocrites believe something.
Well, I'm a cynic and a hypocrite sometimes.
I was going to say you can't do that, but evidently from what you just said, yes, as a matter of fact, you fucking can.
I am cynical and also a hypocrite sometimes, but for in different ways on different reasons.
We got to find a way to get this into the song about being a major general or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And Tito says, the only time I got upset with my cat was when he broke the dish my late fiance had used as an ashtray. That's sad, and I don't know. I don't know how that makes me feel. It makes me feel sad. I just call them anti-gay.
No, still, I get it.
Anyways, let's actually get into the trash fire before we get too distracted.
Let's get back in the garbage, yo.
Yep. Never in a million years did we think we'd be writing a post defending Lindsey Graham. But hear us out for a second. Last week, Donald Trump Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh testified for the Senate Judiciary Committee in what will likely go down in history as the most bizarre, incendiary judicial interview process in history, not to mention biggest shit show of my lifetime. During the hearing, Graham, who has long been dogged by gay rumors, had an emotional outburst shouting his support for Kavanaugh and calling the whole damn thing and the whole hearing an unethical sham and the most despicable thing I've seen in politics. It is. I have to say I agree with him. I don't normally like Lindsey Graham's politics, but yeah, this is. I thought the Obama years was a shit show with Michelle Bachmann, but now this is tunneling right under that. I mean, this is like someone burning themselves and saying it was a stupid idea, and the Democrats just dumped gas on themselves and started playing with a lighter.
Well, speaking of the insanity, have you heard the latest of what people are doing now?
God, do I want to know?
Yes, first off, my culture is being appropriated here. These ladies are now shaving their heads in protest.
Okay, that's stupid.
I'm like, yeah, well, I've decided to show solidarity with my sisters. I'm going to be shaving my balls just to show them how nuts they are.
Ah, that sounds unusual.
Yeah, I need to rent a weed eater. But anyway,
let's keep going. It was quite dramatic, to say the least. Many responded to Graham's tantrum. It's not really a tantrum if you're really just finally fed up with this. So stop casting aspersions on him, queer tea, you stupid cunts. In a way one might not expect from people who identify as liberal or progressive, by hurling anti-gay slurs while cracking misogynistic gay jokes about the senator. First came the tweets. Ooh, the tweets. From some lady, I use that term loosely as she probably is. Donald Trump knows I'm a closeted gay man and is holding it over my head. Lindsey Graham. Maria Carey, I can't read.
Yeah, she's like the Latina Mariah Carey. Maria Carey.
You idiots missed his lies to the same committee in the Bush years. So, like, go fuck yourselves, you stupid fag, at Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. Oh, that's third state. I forgot he's from South Carolina.
Mhm. Ronald Corvo says, I've got a funny feeling that Lindsey Graham SC Graham is gay. What do you think? And he's got this nice little picture of him with a pink ribbon, because apparently breast cancer.
Yep. I wonder if we talk enough about South Carolina, will third just magically materialize in the chat.
I think you had to be looking into a mirror where you repeat it several times, and he just kind of reaches out and strangles you or something.
Oh, what we say, North Carolina, best Carolina.
You are an evil cunt. Don't ever change.
Oh, if you know anything about what is it, the Korea thing, that's what people say. North Korea's propaganda line is North Korea best Korea. So I just moved it to the Carolinas to make it American.
Oh shit! I've seen some of the propaganda that's gotten out from North Korea, like newspaper articles about Kim Jong Un being the first person to land on the sun.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. One sec. Cito says he's very sparing with the big scarlet age. He doesn't think he's called anything homophobic all year. And then the people who throw it around like confetti use the same slurs themselves when it suits them. And yeah, he's right. I mean, when it suits them, they sprinkle that shit around like it's Parmesan cheese or something.
Yep. I am offended at your lactose intolerant slur of. I don't know where that was going. My offense just got my offense.
You don't have to have a reason. Just get offended these days, for fuck's sake.
I know, but I was going to try to make a joke at it, but my offense circuits just spaghettied into themselves, and it shorted up.
Let's see. Then there's a quote by Michael Avenatti, which I'm probably not going to read. Then Eric Williamson replies back with, well, and Lindsey Graham SC and his live-in campaign manager. I mean lover. I am a gay man and think it's time we start doing another outing like in 2004, 2008 on politicians. Yes, there is. Ladies and gentlemen, there is absolutely no better way to show that you're a normal part of society by making sure to point out how abnormal it is when others are doing it.
Yep.
Well played, good sir. You played yourself.
Mm-hmm. The sad thing about Lindsey Graham is that the one thing he worries the blackmailer will reveal is already common knowledge. We all know you're gay, Lindsey, and it's okay. It's 2018, for Christ's sake. Well, maybe he is gay and he just doesn't want to be flashy about it. Did it ever occur to you bastards that not everyone wants to be a fucking stereotype?
And it's really nobody's fucking business but his if he is. And even if he were to come out, do you really think that he's just going to automatically switch sides and start waving his little, I would say rainbow, but now they have colors that don't even exist in reality, just only in, flag added on? He's not going to fucking do it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
hell, I'm voting Republican for governor this year. I mean, what?
Are you okay?
No, I just don't like Gavin Newsom.
We're getting to you.
Don't worry, I'm still being forced to vote Democrat on other things because on a few seats I don't actually have a choice. We got 2 Democrats.
It's kind of like that movie, where a little bitty town dude goes into a music store and he's like, well, what kind of music do you have here? And the ladies up there like, oh, we got both kinds, country and western. I think it was Bill Murray in that movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but California has a wacky it has an open primary system, so top 2 go no matter what the party is. The funny thing is, I think from what I was reading from in a Discord server, it's her name is Giovanna Liviano. Look her up on Medium if you get a chance. Her stuff is interesting. But apparently in 3 congressional districts in and around Los Angeles, it's a Democrat versus Green party, so there's no threat of a spoiler this year. Yeah. Democrat versus Green. They managed to get in. That would be hilarious if one of them won.
Oh, I would laugh my ass off.
As much as I don't really like the Green Party because they're a little too SJW for my liking, but
yeah, mine too.
I would like to see one of them win just as a fuck you to the Democrats, personally, for screwing Bernie over. At this point, I'm a little bit more willing to tolerate some of their SJW bent than the Democrats being completely corrupt assholes.
Well, what gets me is, I mean, I'm even in, bumfuck Arkansas, and it's funny because you have the Greens that are the environmentalists, the Democrats that say they are environmentalists, but the majority of our conservation efforts are actually funded by the Republicans here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing in Nevada. Like I know it was Governor Sandoval, the current governor, was big on pushing geothermal energy, versus the Democrats who never really talk about it. Yeah, so and also he's the one that finally pushed through a tax reform bill that actually raised taxes for education.
It worked. The summoning worked.
Wait, we have Thurg?
We have Thurg.
We have Thurg.
Hello, Thurg.
Yes, we're talking about your Senator, Lindsey Graham. Mm-hmm. We have Thurg.
Apparently, rumor on the street is he is a gay homosexual.
Mm-hmm. For all we know, Lindsey Graham could be Thurg. We don't know.
I don't know. I don't care.
I wouldn't care either way.
Thurg, all right.
Thurg's fun. I like Thurg.
Yep. We're going to talk about you in the third person like you're not even here, dude.
Yep. Well, I mean, he technically is. He's technically not here. He's here in spirit. Because technically, we're in a Google Hangout, and he's not. He's in chat. He's in a different program.
Well, technically, I'm in the cage, but, well, y'all can't see it, but it's there.
I don't know what he's ewing at, but what? Okay. Oh, unless I'm insinuating he's Lindsey Graham, but I don't know why that would.
No, he says ew. Now, Thurg, this is my face. I can't help that. Yeah, he says that rumor's been going around for a bit.
Yeah, that rumor's been around since like 2008, as far as I've noticed it. And probably
apparently,
longer.
there's. Oh God, these are getting pretty raunchy as I scroll down.
Oh,
like subversive cross stitch and stuff like that. Like Lindsey Graham knows how to.
Ew.
Something about a duck, and I'm like, no, wait, that's not a duck they're referring to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of these, I'm sure, I'm wondering if they'd get this stream eventually. Oh god, yeah, we're skipping this one.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, what makes them think that? Oh, you were in deep shit now, Mister.
Yeah, I scrolled past them all.
No, not really, because I just saw him pass through.
Yeah, I know. And Mr. and Miss Cito says to me, a two-dem general would at least give the Republicans more influence if we assume they'd have almost no chance of winning after a closed primary. It would, in a sense, give them more influence, but I don't like having to vote. I don't like effectively not having a choice, because the Democrats in this state, or even if it was two Republicans, they're not going to differ that much as it would be like a Democrat versus any other party, which is just my issue with it. I would prefer to have it be Democrat versus Green than two Democrats or a Democrat and Republican at this point. Just personal preference on that. Anyways, let's move on to the next story before I scroll up and get this channel demonetized again.
Of course. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Which one would you like to take on next, Bacon?
We have a new study indicates a link between genetics and gender dysphoria. Switzerland made transphobia and homophobia illegal as racism. Equal marriage has improved gay men's health, new study suggests. And snap crap.
Let's go for the genetics and gender dysphoria.
Okay.
Because reasons.
Okay. And now it's been plopped into chat.
A new study has found a number of genetic differences between transgender women and non-transgender men. The findings from the Hudson Institute of Medical Research in Australia suggest there is a biological reason why some people experience gender dysphoria. The study examined genetic variations of 380 transgender women, which were compared to 344 non-transgender men. It found that the transgender women exhibited genetic... Hold on a sec.
Okay, we've lost Farrell temporarily. It found that transgender women exhibit genetic variants which correlate with genes involving in processing sex hormones, estrogen and androgen, New Atlas reported. The researchers believe this could mean that certain brains develop in ways which are less masculine and more feminine, thereby contributing to gender dysphoria in transgender women. It's a comprehensive study in quotes. Oh, and Thurg says, Graham wore out his welcome early on. The problem is there's no real choice. Yeah, same here. It's, that's... again, only reason why I like the top two system is it actually does give us a little bit more of a choice because it's the two most popular people. But I also, at the same time, don't like it when we get stuck with two people of the same party that don't really differ much more than on personality. Which is also why I'm voting for John Cox for governor, because I think Newsom's a cunt.
John Cox.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a guy named after the cable company.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, we all know you were thinking long swinging dongs.
Okay, so this is the world's largest and most comprehensive study examining changes in genes that control sex hormone signaling in transgender women. Do they have any genes that control virtue signaling? Professor Vincent Harley, the lead author on the study, told ABC News.
Which is Australian broadcasting, not American.
Mm-hmm.
Just let you know.
Knockoffs.
Yeah, I know.
It's a part of growing numbers of scientific studies into gender identity, including MRI scans of transgender youth and an ongoing cross-continental study of genomes. However, the reaction of some trans rights activists has been more circumspect. No shit.
Mm-hmm.
They run from science like the plague.
Yep.
Also, speaking to ABC News, Sally Goldner from Transgender Victoria said this type of research carries both pros and cons. It's good to see the research back up what we already know, that we are who we are, said Goldner. It's not so good if people don't seem to fit some sort of genetic test if that was ever developed. Professor Harley expressed similar sentiments, though was hopeful that the scientific research would help in combating transphobia and enhance social understanding of the trans community.
Okay, so I genetic tests and whatnot of this bullshit. I find it funny that the people that are saying it's born this way and want the proof that they are just born that way are pro-abortion but not pro-sex selective abortions. I'm just putting that out there. That I find it ironic that they won't. They will like San Francisco was tried to pass a resolution condemning sex selective abortion, and it failed because they are pro-choice, and it's like, okay, but I don't know. It's a cornucopia of fuckery that I just don't understand why it exists.
That's true. Let's see. My thing about this is, it's first off, I'm actually happy they're doing research on this because this can put a lot of the attention whores to bed. Thing is, are they going to even allow this research to continue to exist? Because as you've seen, they've crept well out of the grievance studies groups and into the sciences, technology, medicine, all that fun stuff.
Well, they haven't infected it as much, but they're at least able to browbeat them into silence, which is also not a good thing.
And so I'm glad to see these studies, but I actually don't think we're going to see all that many of them because I think a lot of it is going to prove to be inconclusive because not everyone that says they're trans are trans. Yep.
Also, Thurg and I were chatting this over. Yes, I'm going to talk about what we chat. I wouldn't say it's really, well, it is private because it is Discord, but anyways, surely my own Discord. I actually link it below if you want to chat with me. That's the easiest place to find me. But anyways, I was talking about what I think would be a good way to tamp down on this bullshit, and it would be to have like a committee that would just go and investigate these courses to make sure they're actually being factual, like at least the general education and like cores of majors, and it would at least tamp down a little bit on the grievance industry, but they wouldn't take it unless it was, kicking and screaming.
Of course. The other thing that kind of makes me wonder about these studies here that they're doing is, are they looking at, it looks like they are looking at the genome. I can only assume they're looking at gene expression, but how are they controlling for external factors, like, for example, people using testosterone blockers or, estrogen or vice versa? How are they looking at that if they're getting it off market?
True. There's always that.
And I really think, just as someone that has a very basic university understanding of science, that could, in fact, taint the results.
Taint.
Or any other, non-binary variant thereof.
Okay, so let's move on to Switzerland. They have made transphobia and homophobia illegal. Oh, good old moral busybodying. Oh, I got to adjust this. Oops. I did not adjust this correctly because I did not look this far ahead. Okay.
It's from the future.
Well, sort of. There we go. I readjusted it in OBS. We can now see it better. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to?
I'll read half. You'll read half,
Okay.
or until I shut up.
Mhm.
Switzerland has voted to change its penal code to make homophobia penal code to make homophobia and transphobia as illegal as racism. The National Council voted 118 to 60 to make it illegal to discriminate against someone based on sexual or gender identity. Anyone found guilty of transphobia or homophobia could be thrown in jail for up to 3 years. Victory, wrote National Councilor Matthias Reynard on Twitter.
So is this just for like work and like housing discrimination, or are they actually making me telling a tranny joke illegal?
That's one of my questions. The other is, how do they prove that was your intent?
Yeah, I know. Because humor doesn't always translate.
Mens rea is still a thing, you know?
Well, not in these countries. They don't speak Latin.
True. Well, how many times have you been at the airport in Germany and seen someone, walking around with this confused look on his face, like, "Excuse me, sprigen Sie Latin?" You just don't see that.
Sprigen Sie Latin?
Yeah. The Socialist National Councilor.
That sounds odd.
Matthias spearheaded the change to the European countries' laws. Renard has fought for more than 5 years to change the laws. Homophobia is not an opinion, he said.
Well, it kind of is when you think about it.
Actually, it's a judgment of an opinion.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sidho says in chat, "That's scary. Who's going to define those terms? I wish John Mortimer were still alive to write about this. Unfortunately, I missed out on John Mortimer, but you have a very valid point there. Who the fuck is going to define them?"
Yeah, I know.
If you're going to make something to where you can basically throw someone in a metal box, which is government force, you need to damn well make sure you get those terms nailed down.
Yeah, they're probably going to have the most offended people write the laws and the definitions. Well, I'm assuming homophobia is probably only going to be extended to women because men can just take a dick.
No, it's... Yeah, that's a good point there.
Well, I mean, if this was in America, that would definitely be the case. Can't assume it would go any different in Switzerland.
True. It's a crime. Dude, no, it's not. Not until you made it illegal. But that's beside the point. 1 in 5 homosexuals attempted suicide half before the age of 20.
How does that have anything to do with anything?
Apparently, their little feelings. Why we're not teaching children to think, okay, he called me a faggot. Well, he's a dick, Why are we not teaching this anymore?
Because that telling kids to just toughen up is wrong. We should let them be jello their entire life because that's more compassionate.
No, I'd really rather harden the fuck up. That way when some challenges come, they can just look at, give it the finger and do what they're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's empowering.
Yeah, I know. Well, empowering is homophobic and sexist. You're not supposed to be empowered. You're supposed to be not empowered.
Damsels in distress.
All of them. We all should be damsels.
All the fucking time.
We should be damsels, and we should let the straight guys save us.
Let's see.
I'll get the rest of it.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I was just checking the chat.
Okay. This victory sends a strong signal. I have already received hundreds of reactions. And some of them were probably not nice, but since you're in the European Union and they can just censor all that, you probably didn't read any of it. Farrell, did you freeze again?
No, I'm rearranging my windows.
Oh, because it looked like you froze again. And like I said before, we're not the YouTube saints using Skype.
I'm sorry, I'm buffering. That's what it is.
The Swish queer groups.
Swish?
Swish. At least they only make swatches. But they're not from Croatia.
The decision of the day is an important step. It will likely bring Switzerland back into the rankings of the International Association of LGBTI People, where our country currently ranks 22nd behind Estonia and Hungary. René Schag, Secretary General of the Pink Cross, told Le Temps.
I don't understand how Switzerland can rank behind the most homophobic countries in Europe. Yeah, I'm saying with air quotes. Like Hungary's supposed to be a shithole for gay people. Like you're like where every night drag queens are like raped in the streets and a and dumped on them or some bullshit. Insert horror story here.
God, here the drag queens are pissed because nobody's raping them.
Yeah, but seriously, it's like how is Switzerland, according to these, I'm assuming incredibly social justicey organizations, or at least incredibly deluded organizations, how is Switzerland ranking worse than countries that are supposedly the most anti-gay in Europe?
I don't know. I mean, it's like some of the, well, it's like a lot like the HRC's ranking index of LGBT friendly businesses, where, quite frankly, a lot of us feel unwelcome.
Yep.
You know, even for those at the top, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a good place to work.
Anyways, Reinhard said he will now push to make marriage equality legal in Switzerland. I'm kind of surprised it isn't. The country has allowed registered same-sex civil partnerships since 2007. Same-sex couples still don't have equal rights when it comes to tax, fertility, welfare, and adoption. Again, how? I mean, it's Switzerland. I mean, it's not like they're that conservative. I mean, it says something that our state, that states I mean, to put it bluntly, the Democrats are about as right-wing as most of their right-wing parties, and even they managed to pass all of that shit a decade ago.
Hold on. I'm looking over this list, and there's one that kind of struck me odd, and it just kind of realized why. Fertility?
Yeah.
Am I the only person that has a problem with infertility here? I mean, I've tried switching to boxers. It just will not take.
You also have to have a woman.
Well, then they're probably not gay.
Well, I mean, you would need a woman to work out some of your fertility issues. It takes two to tango.
Switzerland has recently dropped in European rankings when it comes to LGBTI rights. In 2017, it fell 3 places on the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association's ILGA Annual Rainbow Index. Another point of contention here. You know how you keep seeing the eye on here for intersex?
Yeah, don't a lot of intersex people don't want any association with this?
Exactly. So I think it's really nice that we just, you know, what is it we call it? Or what is it the lefties really like calling it? You know, when you basically go out and conquer a country and make it your own, despite what the people in it say. Yeah, some bullshit. I almost said colonic, which is pretty funny. Colonial hegemony.
Yeah, and,
colonic hegemony. That's great.
Colonic hegemony.
It sounds like a gay health spa or something.
Or a bar. Yeah, but even Cito agrees. Like, what are the criteria for this ranking? Because I mean, Switzerland. It's not. I mean, it's Switzerland. I mean, come on. It's not like it's, I don't know, Estonia or Hungary or Ukraine or Russia. I mean, how could it be ranked that low? Unless this is one of those, it's last in a list of good people, in which case I think
it means that some retired watchmaker once made like a gay joke and the whole country is just like shamed for it or something.
Okay, well that makes sense with how the pink mafia goes around and works.
Well, which makes you wonder exactly what they would think of our show.
Oh, they would probably it would end in the pod people shriek, yellings of shitlord, homophobe, and then hyperventilating in the corner until they passed out.
Shitlord?
Yeah, shitlord.
Always wanted to be a lord.
Well, now you are one of shit.
Cito says true, but Switzerland isn't the Netherlands.
I was not under any expectation that the Netherlands was better in this regard.
I think countries like that seem to be better for one or two types. But for some that, you know, that are like us, that are more cavalier, that can make jokes, still maintain our cultural sense of, what do you call it, dark humor, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah.
We cannot allow the dark humor here because it will end in Nazis. And we are now banned in the European Union.
Shit, I was going to vacation there.
Well, I mean, this show is. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to notice us, so yeah.
Now, I'm going to walk right into customs, and they're all going to stop, turn, and point. You.
Well, and also don't forget the pod people shriek.
Whee!
I think it's more high pitched and
And this has the best comment, like right there at the bottom, just underneath the article by Joel Raymore.
Mm-hmm.
God, this was so poorly written. Thank you. Appreciate it, Joel.
Mm-hmm.
And
can someone
Roger Federer probably said something once, and Martina Hingis, I believe it is, has been nasty to lesbians.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of the comment is, can someone clarify me what is included under acts of homophobia and transphobia? I've searched for this, but no article seems to get into the specifics. Yes.
And nary an answer.
Yep. This surely won't be abused. Ricky Tyson says, this surely won't be abused at all. Won't let your children get hormone therapy when they're 12? Arrested. Be heterosexual and turn down the advances of a homosexual or transsexual? Arrested. Soon enough, Pride Parade attendance will be largely mandatory. No better way to encourage acceptance than to legally enforce it. And the first response to Ricky is go suck a dick. Because gays are so inclusive and tolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, you can still say no thanks, I'm straight, and I don't want head from a man, but what if she's a transgender woman of, well, I would say color, but it's Switzerland. What if she's a transgender woman? You can't say no to that.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit of a refest underneath that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wish someone, and then Maddie Cole Dolly said, I wish this be in America, and then someone responded,
I wish this be in America.
Yeah, I'm so glad we are not. I'm so glad we still have the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment, and basically a lot of the amendments. They're all. I think Europeans are starting to understand why we decided to write them down.
Maddie can swing off a crowd-funded, fair trade, gluten-free big one, as far as I'm concerned. Because I actually live in America, and I want this shit nowhere near me.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, I love the First Amendment and the Fourth. They're among my favorite amendments.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who failed civics, that deals with freedom of speech, expression, religion, petitioning the government, protesting, and your privacy rights.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for those of you who failed civics. And then there's the Fifth Amendment. I like that one too. And the Sixth and the Seventh.
Well, personally, I try to collect the whole set except for the ones on Prohibition.
Same here.
Well, maybe the one, that repealed Prohibition because that didn't work.
Yeah. And also the Third Amendment, which is about quartering soldiers in your house, which is not even an applicable thing anymore.
I don't know. Do I get to pick the soldiers?
I mean, I would quarter a sailor, a very gay one. And we would just have to agree to no black lights.
What are you saying about that white dress uniform?
Well, I thought they had navy blue, and it's Fleet Week right now.
Oh, I thought the white was their dress uniform.
I don't know, but either way, it's Fleet Week, and I would make a very shiny mess with them. So I would quarter them.
I'm going to pretend to be prudish for a minute.
You're going to pretend to be British for a minute?
Prudish.
Same difference.
No, I ain't got the accent to be a Brit.
Oh.
No offense against them, I just can't do your accent.
Aww.
Or any accent, but that's beside the point.
And Josephat, you missed everything. Except for me saying things I would do with a sailor. All the horrible things.
Oh God, now I know the answer to that song. What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
You give him coffee and you bang him?
Apparently so.
At least that's what I would do in my book.
Why do I have the feeling that your book has all the pages stuck together?
Oh no, they're covered in like wax, so they don't stick anymore.
Kinky bastard.
I am sometimes.
Thurg says, no. You want to collect both the 18th and the 21st Amendments. Prohibition and its repeal taught us some very important lessons. Unfortunately, we didn't learn the lessons well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, Thurg, I found out just a few days ago that's why hard cider is not popular in the United States now. Mm-hmm. At one time, when we were handing out tracts of land, it was part of the government requirement was planting a certain number of peach trees
Hmm.
and a certain number of apple trees. Those were mainly cider apples, which is why you see it being referenced all through the 1800s. But after Prohibition, we suddenly switched to beer. It's because the Prohibitionists decided just banning the alcohol wasn't enough. They had to chop down the apple trees.
Mm,
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, it taught us some very important lessons.
Hmm.
Of course, during that time period, they also had these bricks of grape concentrate with very strict instructions on how not to, mix it with a certain amount of water and leave it in a cool, dark place for so long.
Hmm.
Printed right there on the package. Make sure not to do this. Wink, wink.
And that's where the winky face emoji comes from.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why semicolon and the parentheses exist. Oh, that would be hilarious. So if we could time travel, we just in the typeset we do that. Like we would go back in time and then do the little winky face thing and then just leave it on there.
We'll be like River's song from Doctor Who,
Yeah.
Well, this, this is the oldest inscription known in time and everything. The doctor looks at us like, oh, it's from his wife. Hello, sweetie.
Yep.
That would be ours.
Yep.
Actually, it might be translated to send nudes or something like that.
Some is the first ledgers of temperance movement.
Some of the first leaders of the temperance movement were some of the first feminists. You would be absolutely correct, Thurg.
Yes, that's one of those things that I just to do a little bit of bitching about people's current opposition to feminism. Most people assume feminism just started out as a Marxist movement. No, they infected the movement in the 60s. The original feminists were tent revivalist, post-abolitionist religious types.
And that would be part of the Second Great Awakening here in the United States.
Yes.
There was, when it comes to Southern versus Northern culture, and yes, I'm sorry, I have studied the two moral systems at the time. The North was more reserved, had more of a kind of a stoic model of basically self-mastery as far as what their honor codes were built on. The temperance movement was an outgrowth of the whole what we call the Second Awakening now, where basically the moral busybodies went on to overdrive while we Southerners laughed at them and made bourbon anyway.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, that's the thing that people in the commentary sphere or whatever sphere we've wandered into drunkenly on YouTube. It's that it's early feminism is really based on like fundamentalist puritanical religion, not on communism.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean, communism.
Not to say they didn't assimilate
each
other, but
that's the point I always try to make: is they assimilated, and the religious people just took the rhetoric on just for the sake of it's convenient to recruit people these days, not because they actually believe any of it. Because do you really think any of the feminists are going to seize the means of Starbucks production? No. They're going to let Starbucks do their own thing and abuse men, and while women get all the free shit they can never have.
They only want to seize the profits.
Yeah.
It's the same way. This is why you don't see women fighting for all the shit jobs. Some of them quite literally, like working in sanitation.
Yeah.
They want to cherry pick the good shit and leave the rest to the men.
Yep.
And that's just bullshit.
Yeah, it's religion. That's
none of the men are keeping them from taking these shit jobs. They just don't fucking want them. But somebody's got to do them.
Yep. Anyways, let's see what we have next. Oh, equal marriage has improved gay men's health, new study suggests. As someone who's been married, twice now? You should take this one away.
Oh, yeah, if anyone in the chat needs any marital advice, please hit me up. I've been married a total of 3 times, which makes me really, really good at it. So, just, sticking my shingle out there. A new study has suggested that the legalization of same-sex marriage in the U.S. has improved the health of gay men. The latest research by professors at Vanderbilt University found that equal marriage had led to increased health insurance coverage and better access to health care for men living in same-sex households. That's true. There's also other things. I can get into those later. The study revealed that gay marriage increased the probability of men in a same-sex household having health insurance by 4%. These men, it found, since equal marriage became law in the U.S., were 4% more likely, that's what you just said, to have a
Mhm.
usual source of health care, and 7% more likely to have had a health checkup in the past year. The new research distributed by the National Bureau of Economic Research did not ask respondents about their sexual orientation, but instead researchers calculated an estimate for the numbers of gay or bisexual men and women living in same-sex households with one other adult. Okay, so they use shady math.
Yeah. So that means my roommate would qualify as being gay just purely because we live in the same household. Congratulations,
I was
stupid
going to say,
math.
if y'all have common law marriage, there, if y'all live together for a certain number of years,
Mhm.
are y'all considered married now?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, that's kind of funny though. That just by their shoddy mathematical estimations, we would qualify as a couple, even though we're just roommates. How many people would just be roommates that would actually qualify as being gay under this? That's hilarious.
Well, I know my uncle, who had a
Mm,
roommate for
mm,
8 or 9 years, just his
mm,
best friend, would have qualified under it, and he's as straight as they get.
mm.
They found that 1 in 10 men or women and 4 in 10 men in these same-sex households were not likely to be heterosexual.
Same with me and anyone's roommates.
The academics then looked at the changes in health insurance and
Mhm.
health care for these people following the legalization of equal marriage in the U.S. in June 2015. Still, the results did not find that the impact of gay marriage was notable for women. Research has pointed to deficiencies in their statistics as an explanation for this.
Because if they didn't, they would get labeled as sexist and then thrown out of the country,
Possibly.
or at least their university.
They said that women were more likely than men to have children from previous relationships, making them more likely to travel to another state where same sex marriage was legal before it became law in all U.S. states.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got a tasteful little picture of a couple playing tonsil hockey. The
Lesbians.
researchers
Mm-hmm.
said their data did not record this prior. Researchers said their data did not record this prior residences, or the location of same-sex marriages. However, researchers pointed to previous studies that concluded that the legalization of equal marriage had had a positive impact on the health of lesbian and bisexual women. For both men and women in same-sex households, a new study revealed that gay marriage did not affect the rates of substance abuse and preventative health care. The findings support the results from previous research into the impact of equal marriage on gay couples. In 2012, another study in Massachusetts focusing on gay and bisexual men in same-sex marriages revealed that same-sex marriage decreased their need to visit the doctor and resulted in lower healthcare costs. Now, here's the thing about this. The article's ended on this, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to bitchy commentary mode.
Okay.
Um, it's been long known that married couples do tend to live longer than their straight counterparts, and that's because you have someone that can, kind of first off see you in places that you'll never see, like, okay, what's this strange growth on your back, or no, it looks like your leg is about to fall off, you're going to the fucking doctor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. And speaking of healthcare, that also brought up an interesting discussion I had with one of my, friends that I actually, I get to see in person because I'm not just a talking image on the internet. For those of you who aren't sure, but we were talking about healthcare and just the idea, like with universal healthcare, the best way to at least deal with it would be finding a way to have a prepaid care system for basic shit, and then have insurance cover the other bullshit. Which I know that's off topic, but
I'd say it's an interesting idea.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't mind looking at something like that.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I don't know if you guys, I don't think you guys have Kaiser there. It's basically a gigantic HMO network. It's basically a system that's only slightly less restrictive than the NHS in England, and it would be the best way he thinks, and I would think too, would be to have a system like where we prepay into that, and then we just have like supplemental insurance on the side in case we want to do something the system doesn't really want to pay for at a place that's not within the network or the system rather.
Mhm.
Which I think would be a decent system. And Bitch Please is back.
Welcome back, bitch, please.
Oh.
Let's see. Pseudo says, I think almost all math estimating numbers are shady. It seems almost impossible not to be. Agreed.
Oh, damn it.
Really agreed.
Damn it, Josephat. I was going to read your comment because it was long now and you deleted it. God damn it. God damn it. I was waiting for a post. It was kind of off topic. I was waiting to get past the article before talking about it.
Josephat, now Bacon is going to cry. Do you feel happy now?
I am not going to cry. I'm going to be mad.
He's going to cry. He's going to cry like Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh, he re-entered it. And he says, if only the intersectional feminists and communists never infiltrated, and the goal of this movement would have died once it had been achieved, and gay culture would have thrived while breaking stereotypes. Maybe, I don't know. Lesbians we're always going to be feminists, and they tend to be the religious of our little demographic. So they would have basically replaced our church ladies, and they would have been a thorn in our side. And I don't, honestly, considering there really isn't a unified gay culture anymore, I think that's what it would have gone to, except for we would have had more open bitching from those who think we are a culture.
Well, I think it's kind of good that we've kind of balkanized. I mean, we were running for the longest with a monoculture.
A very shallow and
dull.
very shallow and very isolated monoculture, mind you. Because I mean, they're like the gay guys that are older. Well, I mean, in between our ages, I guess is more of a better way to put it. Like saying about how great it was. It's like, but your little culture was like it existed in small little bubbles in a few cities. That's not that big of expansive of a culture. I mean, guys like you and I had always existed and just never lived in these cities. I mean, we were never really considered a part of that. So I mean, you kind of ignored us.
Pseudo says that reminds him that Prince got one thing seriously wrong. Miss Kerrigan was whacked off the ice right after a practice session during nationals.
Okay. Oh, Nancy Kerrigan and the blonde bitch from World's Dumbest.
And the tire iron.
Mm-hmm. God, what was her name? Tonya Harding. That was her name.
Yep, and that led to, of course, that was a real big issue. I mean, here in the States. I mean, do you remember those days?
Wasn't what Olympics was that?
The winter, I guess.
Yeah, but what year?
Oh, it's been fuck all long ago. I mean, I know we had all kinds of things going on, like marketing actually got into that. Do you remember the KFC Nancy Kerrigan special?
No. Let me look up and see when that was.
Yeah, it was. Let's see, one battered thigh and two small breasts.
Olympics. Oh, it would have been in '94, so I would have been like a newborn.
Oh my god, I was almost graduating high school.
Yeah, I would have literally been maybe a month old when that happened. I was a baby.
That was literally my senior year. I take that back because that's winter, so duh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just a wee baby.
Yeah. I was very proudly a PFY.
What's that?
Pimply faced youth.
Yeah, I was screaming and just learning about this terrifying thing called life.
Yeah, I mean, you start out getting evicted and it's downhill from there. It's like a Mel Brooks movie.
Yep. Oh shit! I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, the sizing of this article is all off. I am so sorry. I did not even check that in OBS. I fail at streaming.
Thurg says I'm awful. No shit, Thurg.
Yes,
no shit.
Thurg is right.
And Pseudo says that was back in '94. Tonya Harding is now being held up as a victim with that movie about how she knew nothing, didn't do nothing. That's it. And finished second on a recent season of Dancing with the Stars behind Adam Rippon. Don't doubt it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That little Twinksa thing.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Mom used to point at guys like him and say, "That's what's going to happen if you don't eat your damn greens."
Well, at least he got halfway there.
What do you mean?
The gay part.
This is Farrell's look of judgment.
I thought it was constipation.
Well, the two are pretty similar, actually.
And Josephette says, I miss the 1980s, mid-2000s. Those were the good old days of nerd, homo, bi, rave, etc. If only the PC idiots never existed. What do you think? Then we probably would have had a bigger resurgence of religious people if it weren't for the PC idiots. Because, I mean, that stupid emotional impulse is going to go somewhere. It's kind of, I got it. It's kind of like a demon.
Well, it's the same impulse, really.
Yeah, it's basically a possession. You can never get rid of it. It's just going to move to something else.
Mm-hmm. Part of human nature, unfortunately.
Yeah, and until we find a way to mitigate that in human psyche, we're going to be stuck with it.
Well, that's if we even want to. keep in mind, if the only reason that traits like that would have existed at all or continued to exist is if they ended up helping the group to survive,
Mm-hmm.
which means we may end up finding ourselves in a situation where it's kind of necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the genes for sickle cell anemia. That's if you have two copies of that
Mm-hmm.
gene. If you have just one, that makes you incredibly resistant to malaria.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't think the puritanical impulse is really a good thing anymore, but the only way we could really get away from it would be to teach logic and, like, rhetoric and all that stuff so we actually can see sophistry in that impulse when it's coming. But since we're never going to do that, that would be the only way to mitigate it and make it unnecessary is if we committed ourselves to teaching logic and rhetoric and that sophistry.
Oh, that's what we teach, so we can build up a second nature to basically override the first.
Yep. But we'll never be able. We'll probably not get that anytime soon in our education system. Which, if we did do that, that would be a perfect use for middle school. Because I mean, you basically learn nothing in middle school except you're just kind of there. At least that was my experience in middle school.
You learn how to keep your parents from committing infanticide.
Yeah. But then it just for me to have a little bit of rant about middle school. I understand elementary school. That's when you like learn the basics, but middle school just felt like killing time for 3 years until we can go into high school and learn stuff that might be semi-useful or get us into college. Can't we? It's like that would probably be the perfect time to teach us about like logic and rhetoric and whatnot and consequences of our actions and consequences of scientific stuff rather than just fucking about for 3 years.
Let's just say my middle school years, they actually were pumping knowledge into us back then. I mean, I walked out of there knowing scientific method, algebra, stuff that I actually use every day.
Yeah.
Despite memes that say I never use this.
Yeah, the only thing we might have learned legitimately useful in my middle school would have been a scientific method. We learned nothing relevant beyond that. Like
Yeah.
we didn't learn algebra. We basically did. I did 3 years of pre-algebra. It was the same shit over and over and over again.
Hell, they even taught us how to cook and sew.
Well, I mean, I did have to take a half year of a cooking class, but I already knew how to cook by then.
Mine was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made fun of people. Someone in my class actually snorted flour.
Let's see. So it says he read through Shakespeare in middle school. One day his teacher beat him up, and he spent the afternoon reading The Merchant of Venice. Beat you up?
Mm. Oh, Cito's like 60, so he's old enough to have been around during corporal punishment.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, yeah, actually, I remember that quite well myself. In fact, my first grade teacher broke a paddle on me.
Yeah, my mom went to Catholic school, so till 5th grade, so she knew what that was like.
And then my mother about kicked the shit out of her.
Your mom sounds like a strong woman. I like that.
Oh, she is a bitch. I love her.
So is mine.
Yeah, and thing is, I mean,
And I love her
my
too.
brother actually called her a bitch once, when he was about 17 or so. She got right up in his face. We're talking this far from his nose and said, "When you call me that, remember, I earned that title and you will say it with the respect that it goes with it."
Oh, God. Okay, so let's read the last article that I found called Snap Crap, which I just found hilarious. Hold on,
I
let me
think I
send
missed
it.
the link for this, so if you could.
Yeah, let me just send it to you. Hold on. And Twitter. I'll drop it into chat for chat. This is actually an app that I just found this hilarious. This isn't even gay related, but it's just funny. Okay, go into the Twitter.
I'm looking at Urban Dictionary's definition of it, and this is going to be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is this someone from sacb.com?
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, you found it in our chat stream.
I am clever that way.
Ah.
All right, so I will let you take.
Okay, I will take the helm on this. Snapcrap asks San Francisco residents to take pictures of poop-covered streets. San Francisco is home of some of the world's leading tech companies, Twitter, Uber, and Salesforce, to name a few, and they're changing how we live, work, and get around. But tech has yet to solve one of the most vexing and messy problems that plague San Francisco, the city's poop-covered streets. And I'll say this from experience, yeah, it is pretty disgusting in some parts of San Francisco. Thankfully, our transit agencies have gotten power washers and have been cleaning the subway stations out, but some of them are a little too large and a little too infested. Just gonna put that out there. Sean Miller, a 24-year-old who recently moved to the city, hopes to put a dent in the city's dirty streets with an app he developed and released this week called Snapcrap. The app bills itself as the fastest way to request street cleaning in San Francisco. Oh.
It's kind of funny, obviously, Miller said in a phone interview, describing the state of San Francisco's streets. But it's also a health crisis, and it's disgusting seeing that stuff. He is correct. Hepatitis is not your friend. Neither is Giardia or any other of the pathogens that you can find in it.
Yeah, and I remember, and 100 years ago, we were dealing with horse crap in the streets, and now we're dealing with human crap.
Oh, we dealt with human, too. I mean, at one time, it was common to empty your bedpans out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond human waste, the city sidewalks are littered with used needles, trash, and more. Even Mayor London Breed admits it's a big problem, telling the San Francisco Chronicle she regularly asks the Public Works Director, "What are we going to do about the poop?" A dedicated poop patrol is on the works to handle the 65 calls 311 gets daily reporting poop, according to the Chronicle.
London Breed, why are you making fun of her name?
That's not a girl's name.
I know, it sounds like a drag queen.
Breed. The app is available for free in the iPhone App Store. Its interface looks similar to Snapchat, with a camera filling the whole screen, which lets users snap a quick picture of the mess they spot on the streets and then submit the photo to 311 instantly with a pre-written message. Do you get filters too? Because I really like filters. App users can then visit the 311 ticket they submitted through Snapcrap, including the photo they took and the message they sent. Miller said that the app has advantages over using the SF311 page directly. It's really a speed thing, Miller said. Using the 311 app, just taking a picture takes 5 clicks. You have to add a comment. There's a lot of friction for someone walking down the street in a nasty place. I want to take out my phone, take a photo, and hit send. I would like to make a modification to this app, if you will, that I think will make it a lot more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use the whole crowd, sourcing thing like Uber goes. So with my proposed version of the app, if you catch someone taking a shit on the street or on the subway, you take a picture and you hit send, and then someone runs up to that person, grabs them by the scruff of the neck, sticks their face in it, and whacks them with a rolled up newspaper. And that's why I'm going to hell.
I'll see you there, buddy. I'll see you there.
One message alludes to a frequent parlor game among those who walk the city streets. Human or animal?
Oh, God, that sounds even worse than the game Steakhouse or Gay Bar.
God, that's like that's like a game that we play here in downtown Little Rock. Is it, fireworks or gunshots?
Hey, my neighborhood plays that too.
Other messages are respectful and gracious. Thanks for cleaning. We appreciate you. Some messages are urgent. Please clean up this crap ASAP. And one is desperate. Help! I can't hold my breath much longer. Bitch, move.
That's what I was thinking.
You're breathing in shit, girl.
Yeah.
Move. The app could have a few new features. Could have more new features soon, including a map. Be like Google Maps and have little pin sticks, for where you find shit.
And it's public.
There are definitely some bugs I need to work out, Miller said. Ew. Adding that he wants to do some optimization on the back end to make submitting tickets faster.
Okay, that seems...
So, will it analyze the picture, let you know smooth or chunky, or are there peanuts involved? We have corn. Hazmat Team 3.
This app is currently only available in the Apple Store. Miller says he's working on an Android version. Miller called the app a side project, and he spent about 8 weeks building the app, but just during his free time and on the weekends. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus, Mary and the baby Joseph. What is this place coming to?
That's God. This has been a fun week.
No,
Crazy.
No doubt. The internet garbage gods have smiled upon us. Thank you. So, no more garbage day, huh?
I don't think so, unless you want to find more.
Nah. I'd say this is on a high note. So, what do you think?
We should let's give the chat a couple minutes to ask questions, and if not, we will I guess shut down shop.
Okay. Cito says this reminds him of how he was seriously into picking up litter in elementary school, so that when he was taking a chess tournaments in New York City, I tried to clean all the sidewalks. Damn,
Yeah,
that
noble, but
probably scared the locals.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Bitch Please says, isn't the poop problem because they have a big population of homeless people, or did he get that wrong?
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless people in San Francisco. Part of the
And there's a lot
reason,
of gross people too.
yeah, there is that too. Part of the reason why is that San Francisco does have a lot of homeless related charities. So they basically like will go from San Francisco, migrate down to like San Jose, and then eventually they basically migrate around the Bay Area and Monterey, going to various charities and churches and getting food, according to some people that have and are homeless that I have interacted with.
Dirk says he wonders how many people will use it to report the turds in City Hall.
That would be fun.
There's one in the mayor's office and a few in the council chambers. Like, okay, we've got a floater, Team Blue. We got a floater.
Okay, actually, once there is an Android version, I might actually go do that.
You're a horrible person. I approve.
I am horrible with and without the W. You guys, and then Josephat says, "Have you guys heard of a channel called Direwolf? I recommend of checking out their channel and not mentioning and not mention their live stream. Also, they have a Discord if you're interested, and so do I. I do have a Discord. It's down below."
I'm just, basically Discord by nature. I don't even have the app. I am Discord and Strife, but Dire Wolf, you said, kind of like regular wolf, but more dire.
Yep.
Okay.
So yes, questions, guys. Please get out the questions. If not, we will kill this probably in 2 minutes if you guys don't get questions.
Yes, we are holding y'all hostage that way. We're making you do the emotional labor.
Emotional
labor.
Emotional labor.
You need more vocal fry.
I'm sorry, I'm not the Prim Reaper. I'm just a cheap knockoff.
I know it, right?
I'm Lucci and she's Gucci.
Shit. All right. You know those knockoffs that you had in elementary school that look like Nikes, but they say Mikey on them? Yeah, yeah, I wasn't even that.
Yeah, Discord is kind of a bitch, but it's... How do I put this nicely with Discord? Twitter is where you would want to DM me. Discord's basically where you should just drop stuff, because I will actually see it eventually. And also, Discord's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on there. It's like
Bitch Please says Tom Hardy attractiveness 1 to 10, 11.
Okay, Tom Hardy. Name is ringing a bell. Face is not.
Yeah, I have the face, and ever since I found other pictures, certain other bits, just permanently burned into my retinas.
I would smash.
Not if you can't get out of my basement.
Oh, he's Venom. That's why I know who he is. I would still smash.
Oh, shit. I liked him best in Rock and Rolla. Have you not seen it?
No, I have not.
Dude, you have got to see Rock and Rolla. It's great. It's like one of those heist movies, and he plays a gay guy in the movie that has like a crush on Gerard Butler's character. And there's one point where Gerard Butler realizes he owes this guy like this huge debt, and he's like, well, what can I do to repay you? Then it fast forwards, they're in a gay bar slow dancing, and Gerard Butler has this, Hardy's got this look of just absolute bliss on his face, and Butler's got this mortified look, and it's hilarious.
That's bad.
Oh, it's great. I really recommend that movie. In fact, I'll probably watch it again tonight.
And Cito says, I am as cute as Miss Prim, though.
Aww.
Although I do say Prim has a better voice for the emotional labor and better production values.
Yeah, I look more like something that, Snapcrap would, discard. Like, no, we're not touching that.
Yeah. Or,
Bitch Please said he would smash him while he's Venom. For me, no. You'd have to put googly eyes on him first.
Oh, or did, No, you weren't on stream when I think I can't remember, was I on this stream or was I doing my own stream, but someone actually put googly eyes on fish in a market to make them look fresher. Awesome. Yeah, I think it was in Kuwait. It was in a Middle Eastern country. They were putting googly eyes on fish to make them look more fresh. No, Kuwait. But still, that was awful. Googly eyes on fish to make them look more fresh.
Actually, above me is my virtual reality headset, and I'm really considering getting a large set of googly eyes and putting on the front of that.
That's good.
Just because that would be a very me thing to do.
Oh, it would be a very you thing to do. And me too. Hashtag. I am an awful person. Hashtag me too. Pound me too. Okay, so I guess this has been final call for the questions. I guess no one's got anything else unless you sneak it in right under the wire, and I know I've got to give a slight delay because there's a slight delay between YouTube and me talking.
Yeah, because we're fixing to turn on the ugly lights and let y'all know, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yes.
So please make way to the front entrance before we release the dogs.
Well, I'm considering becoming ContraPoints and talking in a low and sultry voice.
You got to smear hamburger meat all over your body, while you do that to
I'm not
get the
Lady
full
Gaga,
ContraPoints
for God's
effect.
sakes.
Yeah, but she thinks she is. Hell, she thinks she's she.
I'll just talk in a New Jersey doll-face voice, like I've been.
It sounds like you're straining to take a poop.
Hey, I've been smoking at
Hold
the
on,
casino
hold on.
for 24 hours.
I'm ready for snap crap. Okay, we're ready to go.
Hey, I've been smoking at the Atlantic City for all day, dollface. I just gotta go to the Denny's built into the casino. I got a coupon. Okay, yeah, well, I guess we're gonna get going after I've made fun and insulted the entire, I would say, great state of New Jersey.
Yeah, speaking of smoking, I actually had one the other day. It's the first one I've had in about a week. Oh my god, those taste weird now.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna go after I've now insulted what some people call the great state of New Jersey, but I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I live on the West Coast. People argue.
Dude, they brought us Snooki, okay?
I'm sorry, when people argue about which northeastern state is the best, it's like arguing over which scrapyard's the best. I'm sorry.
Pseudo says he still has to finish the main stream from last night. Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. The After Dark stream that we did, apparently when we were streaming footage of wrestling, YouTube.com did not like that and decided to cut us off without us knowing.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you actually missed the best part because, we were just laughing our asses off later. So I'll just let you know it was great and you really fucking enjoyed it.
Well, good night, good evening or afternoon, everybody, and we will see you in the next one. And this will be reposted on the Gatriarchy, so if you've seen it already, watch it here, give me the views, and then go give Farrell some loving.
Yeah, and I guess Bacon, this is the point where you start beatboxing the outro.
Okay, that was not a good image.
I know.
Anyways, we'll stop here. Good night, everybody.